Hi, I'm Akhil.
And I'm Rohan.
Welcome to The Long Take. This week we're discussing a Tamil movie which released last month. It's called Leo, and it's actually the highest grossing Tamil movie of this year. Stars Vijay in the lead role. And yeah, he's basically like what, the Shah Rukh Khan of like Tamil Nadu? The way he's like treated, like he's literally like announces like alter ego in the
Yeah. So that happens with all these people, right? Even a Rajnikant movie will have that special title, Superstar Rajnikant, at the beginning.
like they're treated like above God
Yeah.
at this point.
Like, it's basically godlike. Like, you wouldn't have this with Shah Rukh Khan.
Yeah, like no one says like, like announces like, oh look, SRK superstar. Like, I mean, calm down. Like it's just, he's supposed to be an actor, like finally in the movie. Like it feels like, you made like some hagiographic like documentary or something.
Yeah. No, but the weird thing about this one is that it's, believe it or not, 80% like toned down from how these things usually are of his.
How is that? I guess I cannot tolerate any Tamil cinema ever then.
I mean, it's, yeah, to the point where I watched, I think, Mersal before Jawan just to get a vibe of Atlee.
Yeah, I think you told us that. Yeah.
And that was unbearable because there were like three or four parallel like plots happening and there were 3 Vijays or something in it.
Right, yeah, you spoke about that, yeah.
The most shocking thing about it was how like the first half of it is regular. It's like a generic.
This one?
Yeah, this one. It's like a generic movie, right? It's nonsensical, it's stupid, whatever. No, but like it gets worse in the second half, right? But you're not understanding. It's because linear. That itself is a monumental achievement. And there's one Vijay.
Right, so basically what you're trying to say is that the bar for logical filmmaking is so low. Or like not just logical, but like
regular
filmmaking you can
conventional
follow.
Yes.
Yeah, filmmaking you can follow, the bar is so low that this one clears it for half its runtime.
Yeah, it clears it for half. Where I was like, ye kya hai? Is there another Vijay gonna pop up? Like, and don't forget, like this.
Which they try, right? It's like they, for the entire, I think, 2 hour 35 minutes out of the 2 hour 40 minutes, they're trying to say, there's 2 Vijays, there's 2 Vijays, there's 2 Vijays, there's 2 Vijays, there's 2 Vijays. And they're like, no, it's not 2 Vijays. I mean, everyone knows it, but
yeah,
they drag it on for so long.
Yeah, it's complete nonsense, right? It's like after a point they realize that they no longer have a reason to exist, and then they were like, "Who cares? Let's just throw another hour." Like, there is virtually no reason for any of it to happen beyond the first hour. Like everything is resolved completely. And
yeah, I generally thought when that first action scene in the cafe happened, and he just like kills everyone, I'm like, usually this would be like the third act of a movie.
Yeah.
Like things would build up to this moment where the guy was talking about, you should not lose your cool, and like, talking in metaphors to his son a while back, and like not fire bullets and like not be that murderer. This would be the third act, and then that would be like, oh look, like sometimes people have to do bad things to like save the day. But here, it's in the first act.
Yeah. Like he whatever, defends his family against those people. He gets put on trial. He gets like acquitted, whatever, and the movie should end. But
yeah,
no, in this one, it's
this is the setup, bro. Welcome to the movie now.
No, welcome to the movie is like hyena fight, which I did not see. Like there's a full hyena fight that happens.
That was completely like felt like a RR.
That does feel like an RRR thing, yes.
Like उनने करा, उनके लिए work करा, तो हम भी घुसेड़ देंगे. चाहे इसमें कोई logic हो या ना हो, we just put it here.
Yeah. I mean, logic though, it's almost as if he knew that 5 years later some goon will come to his house, hold his daughter hostage, and then I will have to call the hyena to save the day. वो पूरा सोचा उसने when he fought the hyena and made a pet out of him.
Yeah, I have no idea how they achieved that.
With the family in the enclosure, like usko pet.
Yeah. A pet who never shows himself except when it's needed.
Yeah. नहीं तो whatever, वो insanity aside is what I'm saying. This is a regular movie because...
No, I refuse to bow down to their level.
No, but then you need to like just sample 10 minutes of any other Thalapathy movie and then you'll be like what other bubble are either we are living in or Thalapathy fans are living in? That,
I mean, obviously, they're the ones living in the bubble because they have made this movie like the highest grossing Tamil movie.
but then that is no longer the bubble. No, that is like the dominant force. We are the bubble for being like, ye kya hai?
Yeah, basically. Because when someone becomes that popular, when something grosses like money globally, you just like, I guess I'm the like
And
dumb.
the thing is, so I'm forgetting now, there was a Rajinikanth movie a few years ago, Paranjeet Wala. And I watched it and I was like, this is regular. This is not like a Rajinikanth movie. And I found out his fans hated it because it was regular.
Oh.
And this one also, like Vijay's fans are like, इसमें Vijay नहीं दिख रहा हमें. ये तो and keep in mind, he gets like that Thalapathy like card and the music thing happens.
Yeah.
Everything. He does his pose.
The title card happens like some 1 hour 10 minutes into the movie, I think.
Which is a cool move. I have to, that's the one thing I'll give them. That is, I always admire that thing, and it's made like midway point where they have the title card. Which is,
I was so annoyed with everything at that point. I think I wanted to literally be the protagonist and take out a gun and like roll it off my wrist and sleeve and then shoot
you
anyone.
are already learning like Thalapathy, like.
Yeah, I'm learning the filmmaking language.
Yeah. No, so in this, he has like one song which you have to imagine would have made people mad. Like there's one dance number, right? Normally you would have like multiple because usko dancing aata
one
hai.
is not enough.
हाँ,
Oh, usko dancing aata hai.
उसको dancing आता है. Plus like it's an occasion for everybody to like get off their butts and dance also.
I thought they didn't need occasion. Given the number of action scenes, how the movie celebrates violence, I literally like imagined everyone in the theater carrying like, you know, like kattas and swords with themselves and just getting up in like, you know how like in Roman times people would like jump and be like, punch their hands up in the air with their swords. Like, that's what I'm imagining.
You were imagining
Kill that dude! Kill that dude!
You're imagining a mosh pit in like Prasad's theater or something.
Yeah, with like metal everywhere, which like everyone like just walked past the security guard, be like, bro, Thalapathy ka movie hai, you have to allow swords.
Matlab, speaking of mosh pits, the music in this movie is insane.
Forget the music. The lyrics of every song,
Everything
is
musically.
mind blowing.
Yeah.
I'm like, someone sat down. Either though I don't know if they selected the track or someone sat down and be like, this is what we want the tracks to say, and it has no relation to what the character is going through or feeling.
It's like the Vegas, like I'm feeling sad. But then it takes a weird turn. Like it's like I'm on drugs or something.
Yeah, I like, no, the dude is not on drugs. The dude just had a terrible like time in his cafe. He's probably like going through PTSD at worst. He's holed up in his house for 10 days with his family. And the lyrics are saying, I have a bad trip. I am on Molly. I'm like, what?
It's like some 2-year-old wrote it. Anirudh Ravichandran is on. He's the one who's on drugs.
He is the one who knows. He's forgotten what the movie is about, and he just wrote his own experience. And then someone sang it, and then someone put it in the movie. The editor also okayed it. The producer also okayed it, and then it went on release.
No, the irony is that the movie ka jo end ekdam hota hai, where like Kamal Hassan comes, he's like, let's go take down drugs together.
Which I didn't even understand. I had to Google that moment because I have not seen anything that this guy has made.
Oh, so this is like a part of a shared universe thing.
Yeah. I found out like later that even that dude who shows up, like, you know, that
the Napoleon,
yeah, with a guy who's assigned to protect this family and then does everything else except protecting this family.
Yeah. So I mean, I've seen 30 minutes of the film in which Napoleon was there.
Right.
And I've seen all of the film in which Kamal Hassan was there. So
right.
That was also fairly conventional. That was, in fact, in a way more problematic, the Kamal Hassan one. Same director, obviously, all three. That was actually like a very weirdly misogynistic kind of film. In this one, it's just...
they just ignore the female characters.
matlab usko...
I mean, that's the easier route.
No, with these movies, it's always like, when will she die? You know?
Right,
like,
okay.
If a woman exists, she must die, of course.
Which they do in a roundabout way, because then they introduce a female character like deep into the movie and then they kill her off like 3 minutes later.
हाँ नहीं तो वो तो एकदम telegraphed था कि oh of course because Trisha hasn't died yet, this one is doomed.
Right, yeah. I don't know the inner workings of the universe yet, so I was catching up.
No, not universe. I'm saying a lot of these Tamil movies, like we watched Jawan also, right?
Okay.
And even in that, like the Deepika Padukone character, it's a very like it's a trope that happens in virtually, I think, like 80% of the movies that I've seen of at least this size in Tamil Nadu. Whatever. The flashback is like a separate movie. Also, the flashback is, I don't know if it's deliberate or what the thing is, but maybe I'm just reading too much into it. The Jawan parallels are beyond just the flashback and the father-son thing, right? After a point, it feels like ये तो काफी similar template है. Now, either it's a template that extends beyond just these two movies, or there's some weird like fishy business happening here because it's just too coincidental.
The script room was like shared or something.
Like either someone, because also like the guy who made Atlee has worked multiple times with this dude, and it's I don't know if they do this often, but like it's very like Sanjay Dutt comes and saves them second half mein ye wo. Obviously he's the villain here, and then he's just ignored, which we can talk about, like what even in
like I thought when he showed up, I was like, oh, this is gonna be the like the final boss movie ka. But final boss turns out to be some other dude entirely. I'm like, why?
No, why? So villain has at some point they must have realized that villain का कोई motivation है नहीं really.
Yeah.
But then they didn't. They were like shrugged. Like who cares? Let's not even bother. And I was waiting, right? कि कुछ क्या होगा? What is the reason why he's angry, right?
Yeah.
Did like Leo get away and he still wants to kill Leo because of whatever sacrifice करना है उसे? उसका business तो गया ना अब. Anyway, none of it matters. He's just like, you please admit that you are Leo, and that's it.
That's it, yeah.
And Leo, for some reason, just like kicks के लिए, he's like, no, मैं नहीं बोलूँगा. And then that goes on for 1 hour.
That goes on for 2 or 35 minutes, I would argue. Until the end, they literally save that scene with Sanjay Dutt just so that they can show it in parallel with when he admits it to the other.
Which is like a low-key like trolling moment, right? Which means that they know that they were playing this fool.
They know they've been dragging this out for too long.
Yeah.
They've lost the plot. They didn't know where to put the scene. So when okay, let's just do it at the very end now because otherwise we will do it.
And the tone with which Thalapathy says it also is like, yeah, I've dragged it on far too long now. Here you go.
I refuse to address him like that. I will always say Vijay.
No, but
like that is justifying what people are doing. No, I refuse to do that.
No, but what even is the point of this?
Yeah, I have no idea. I could not, at any point, I was not like, oh, this movie might be cool for 3 minutes with this action series. Like you can just like sometimes you can just forget. Like even in a bad movie, like even in a bad Liam Neeson movie, sometimes 3 minutes of it, the action scene, if you forget the bad storytelling, the bad acting, whatever, you can enjoy those 3 minutes. Right? Like, I think there was like a Fast and Furious movie which I mostly hated, but there was like a cool Jason Statham action scene where like he puts like headphones on a baby and he has a good like
oh my god, I hate
action sequence inside the flight. So even like terrible movies have like 3 minutes of redeeming like action bits. I could not find that in this movie.
Not like they don't try here. They try it like 3 times, right? First with the hyena, then with the car chase, which is whatever, and then
which is entirely CGI.
Yeah, even the road was CGI. Look, when they get out of the when the single take ends, the chase, and then they Thalapathy and Sanju Baba face off on the street. Not only are the surroundings fake, obviously, the road is fake. On which they're standing. They were standing on green stuff probably. Even the road is fake.
This is like, George Lucas like prequel era level.
और उसके बाद वो वाला bit होता नहीं है where the hawk kind of glides over the factory and then
oh god.
But multiple times they try to be like, here's a flashy action sequence to kind of pause the exposition, which also happens a lot in the second half of it. Mostly but
then they have no idea what to do with either exposition or the action.
It feels like there's no cohesive style, right? Because kabhi like the action is first person, especially like right in the beginning. I was like, "Ye kya video game style?" Sure, that's kind of interesting if you're going to like continue doing it through the movie, right? But they abandon
because then it at least establishes a style, right? Like say, John Wick has a style now, so that they eventually people just like go like, okay, this is how you do it, so that we will like expect it. Here, like it's almost like we're talking about like it feels like an addition to the entire movie.
Yeah, it feels like, you've designed those sequences first and then written the movie around them. कि अब ये ऐसे
Yeah.
ऐसे ऐसे. And also, it's like, like that split screen that happens out of nowhere once. Where you're like,
Yeah.
ये क्यों कर रहे हो अब?
No, but he said actually eventually it happens 4 times, but none of the 4 times it actually makes sense to me. Why they do need split screening? I know why can't they just do intercutting?
Because the thing with split screens is, and like anybody who's seen like Soderbergh do it, is like it's like reading a comic book, right? Your eyes need to be directed towards left, right, or up and down.
Yeah.
The motion needs to, it's like a passing of the baton between panels, right? But here, it's like parallelly equal amount of information is being conveyed.
At one point, there's like, I don't even know why that scene exists. At one point, Parthi and Satya go to attend someone's wedding in a courtroom, and they do a split frame there. And the split frame, it's literally the same frame. Like Vijay standing in the courtroom, Satya standing in the courtroom, and both signing a document. I'm like, what the hell did you just do? Why is this split frame here? Forget split frame, you don't even need the frame entirely.
So in your like research into this movie, you must have discovered that it's like a remake of History of Violence.
Yeah, I read upon that. Although I haven't seen the original, so it was not really useful information for me.
Oh, okay. No, but that just adds to the insanity of all of it, right? It's like, how do I explain now? History of Violence is like this grim, like dense crime drama in which something similar happens, but then there's also like you enter the inner kind of sanctum of the Russian mob in the UK. And here, like, it's all invented, right? Like, there's some satanic nonsense happening. There's fake, like...
They invent like a new drug. They become like Heisenberg overnight.
Oh, yeah, they invent... What's it called? Datura. Yes. Yeah. Which everybody who made this movie was on also.
Yeah. I was like, why do you need to invent your drug? Why is it not okay for your drug dealers to just peddle like, normal drugs that people have heard of?
No. Yeah, 100 times more lethal than cocaine.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Bro, the person will touch it and die.
This like...
That's not a regular customer. You will kill all your customers.
No, but also like you were talking about, okay, in bad movies, sometimes you have a minute or two of good action to kind of appreciate or whatever. But like, we must remember that the person leading this movie is demigod, right? But not for a moment when you watch it, you understand that, oh, acha, theek hai, ye hai na, X Factor.
Right.
That's the charm that has kind of sustained over 3 decades.
If anything, he looks like a fool the entire movie to me. Because the thing is, because they refuse to let Parthi embrace the Leo's identity, I keep getting like a Captain Marvel feeling where like, this person is like amazing. But because you're, in a way, it's a very different reason, but in a way, because you're keeping their past from them, the person can never be that image or that sort of like, he's in a way, he's a demigod in the movie also, right? He's a demigod playing a demigod. Yeah. But because it has to hide their identity, he has to appear as this innocent family man. He just appears like, almost like, I don't know, what's the word? It's like coddled or something.
It is weird. Like if in smarter hands, it could have been a nice commentary on him also and his kind of influence and power and undeniable stardom, in a way it could have been like that Tom Cruise movie that I really like, Edge of Tomorrow, where basically Tom Cruise is a wimp, right? But then through the course of the movie he learns that I might be a wimp, but I'm also like a hero and nobody can take that away from. But us type of karo na, because you put him in this corner and all he's doing is just taking a machete and like killing people.
Yeah, like in a way the setup is also like reminiscent of what's that? Like in a way, not like Memento, because like in a way like he has like skills, like he's like in a way like he's hiding a part of himself, right? Like he's refusing to like.
I don't know if he doesn't remember or if he's deliberately pretending that he does.
Yeah, I have no idea. Like they keep it so muddled for so long that you can't even trust like what they're showing you after a point.
I really remember at some point during the movie, which is at the end, he's like, मैं लियो हूँ, but तेरे को कब पता चला? हमेशा से पता था? क्या था? मुझे नहीं पता.
That's the thing. He knows the entire time, but the way he behaves, they wanted to make us like they were trying to pull the wool over our eyes, right? Like the oh no, look, he's actually Parthy. And the way like when he confronts like then it makes the character also like not just again look weak. The character also makes look duplicitous, which like he should not. It's okay for him to be
With his
duplicitous, but,
wife
like
also, right?
exactly, it's okay for it to be publicly with the villains and stuff, right? With the police, because he's trying to keep an image and keep his family like safe. But why would you do that with your wife? He refuses to. Like when the wife confronts him, he's just like, how do
He
you?
manipulate करता है, हाँ.
Yeah, that full gaslighting happens there. I'm like, bro, this is not okay. Like, this is a justified thing, right? Imagine if your husband just like starts beating up people expertly and shooting them. Like, you would logically have questions and go around like investigating. She's doing the logical thing. You are the insane character. You have to justify what you're doing.
At one point, he forges his own talwar, which doesn't appear in the movie ever. Which is weird considering the amount of time that they spend on showing him making that sword.
Yeah.
I thought the full samurai thing is going to happen now. He never uses it. It's weird.
Entire movie is just like garbage, man. Like I was just like, they keep throwing like, I don't know, every few minutes they'll come up with some new strategy of like, oh, this makes sense. Like, we'll do this. Like, and I'm like, no, it doesn't make sense. Why are you doing this? No, they're like, no, we'll double down on this now.
Like, this is what the movie is about now.
Yeah. Like, why would a villain show up to like a dude's house, confront him, and be like, all I wanted is you to accept our identity. Stand there by 100 vehicles. Dude does not accept his identity.
And then back out. That was hilarious.
So they just back out and start like driving away and then reversing the entire advantage that you had on the hero. Like, what sort of nonsensical plot line? Like, who comes with this writing? Like, sure, you want a chase sequence. Find a better way to reach to it that is convincing for the audience. You want to like kill the twin, so he's angry for life. Find a better way to justify it. Don't. That's what I think we were. So right now, basically, the framing of that scene was we were a prisoner is talking to a cop, so we're already in a flashback. Inside that flashback, we jump into a song. So already we've done Inception-level nonsense. And then inside that song, there's another like, in a way, sort of not flashback, but like intercutting with like Sanjay Dutt and be like, oh, wait, I just got a horoscope of my kids who are like adults now. And I need to sacrifice one of the adults to keep this business. I'm like, kya ho kya raha hai is movie mein?
It's like the drunk person who, by the way, in real life is a convicted rapist.
Oh, God.
Just found out.
Get any worse.
Yeah. Anyway, it's like almost as the drunk person is like, listen, बहुत लंबी कहानी है, but मैं तेरे को ऊपर का बता देता हूँ. And he just conflates like 5 different stories into one scene.
It's nonsense. I think at that moment I literally had to like rewind. I was like, horoscope? I thought we were in a song right now. And the song was inside a flashback, and the flashback was inside a forest officer chasing a death row prisoner and asking him questions. I'm like, who even gave you like permission to interview this dude? You're a forest officer.
Yeah. Forest officer thinks of himself as like some sort of 70s gumshoe.
Like Mindhunter, like FBI like agent, you know, he's going around and like interviewing death row prisoners. Like, no one would allow you in.
Completely rogue. He's shooting people also. He shoots the dart at those people also.
Forest officer is going around doing all this. I'm like, why do this, right? You can just make him a normal cop. You made him a forest cop.
Made him a forest officer.
And then you have to do this. No, just make him a regular cop actually digging. Then I'll believe it. Like, they put themselves in the situation. Then they expect us to be like, yeah, good movie, bro.
Anurag Kashyap shows up to get killed.
That's a great That was also inside the song, I think, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
Oh no, I think it was after the song. Slightly or before.
It's in that flashback.
Yeah, in that flashback.
The person who instigates Sanjay Dutt into killing either one of his children, the person who becomes the main villain at the end, dances in the song also. I was like, bro, how you in two places at the same time? You were in the back room being like, kill him, and now you're like that.
Like commercialism or storytelling.
No, and then they explained also, it was like a distraction tactic. He was just dancing to... It's full insane, but then
I mean, speaking of insane, why have they cast people who can't speak Tamil then allowed them to speak Hindi/English, kept that voice tracks, and then dubbed people with speaking Tamil over their voices.
And that's a common thing that happens. I don't know why.
How is that a
but
common
it's a-
thing? Like this, like that
it's a
first time it
common-
happens is that judge, right? Or Denzel Smith appears.
Yeah.
He's literally, you can hear him talking in his language, like at a very low volume. It's there.
Yeah, no,
They
it's a
haven't
very
muted it.
common thing. So you often have two
So
voice tracks.
which version do I have to watch to hear Denzel Smith?
0 versions. It's
This is legendary tactic. Why even cast that dude? Just bring in a Tamil judge, no? Then I don't care.
no. But then why would you not mute his original track?
Yeah, that's the point. It feels like I'm watching a pirated version where like some fan dubbed over Denzel Smith because he's
Yeah.
Tamil.
No, but that happens often, especially in these Tamil movies when people talk in Hindi or even English.
That was
Actually,
hilarious for me. I was like, wait, I can hear. I was like, this guy, he's talking English, I think, because I could see his lips move. I'm like, he's like saying this, but like, no, they're actually like, I'm like, just let me turn this off nonsense. Why can't you actually make, like, you can keep talking about pan India, but you won't actually even make a movie that's not in Tamil.
maybe in the Hindi dubbed version, there's no. I mean, उसमें तो obviously नहीं होगा. But just the idea of having two parallel voice tracks is completely mental.
In your actual movie, not like this is like being shown to the director and he decides which one to keep.
No, I mean, even I don't think there's a single line of dialogue of Thalapathy's that he speaks like on set. Everything is ADR'd, right?
Which I mean, take at that.
Oh.
I guess it's just an Indian issue, like of like how they build
Each and every line, it's so the entire movie feels.
But then what's the point of bringing like Sanjay Dutt and having him around for half a movie if I never even hear Sanjay Dutt?
Yeah. So half the effect of having Sanjay Dutt is having his voice. You don't have that in this movie.
Like the way he talks, like the way he like pauses, like that Sanjay, like he will do it. Like why would you? Don't cast him.
Don't cast him, man.
It's not like someone forced it upon you.
Matlab, of the many crimes against the villain in this movie, that is one of them.
It's like ridiculous nonsense is happening. Matlab. Like casting people who are like, just don't bring them in, man. Or if you're bringing them in, let them speak Hindi, like, and do your anyway. Sometimes they do Hindi and they do subtitles in Tamil. But no, they're like, no, we can't do this too much also because our audience won't read.
I mean, this shows how unimportant all of this is in the grand.
Yeah, they're like, why do you care about people who are talking, man? Wait for the next action scene.
But yeah, that's the vibe of this.
Utterly BS. Like next level, no. So there's like probably like half a step above Liger.
Yeah. Matlab Liger to, Liger to they gave up, right?
Right. Yeah.
Es-
You could tell like while they were making it, they were like, we are
yeah, essentially, it's maybe they give up only. They're like, sorry, we don't have anything more. Here's Kamal Hassan. Ka voice. Not even Kamal.
But this is set up like that. They're setting up some like, I don't know, some multi-hero movie or something. Is that what's happening here?
Yeah.
Not that I'm interested.
No, they are set. Now this has happened. Apparently, he's doing one with Rajinikanth. So apparently, they'll have all three in a future movie. And the villain of it will be played by Surya, who's also very big, who was in the previous one. I'm ashamed to have all this information.
Well, someone needed it. Inform Rakesh.
Chalo.
Okay, yeah, time to wrap up. That's all for this episode of The Long Take. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Threads at The Long Take Pod. You can write to us at thelongtakepod@gmail.com. Wherever this is episode, please leave us a rating and a review, and we will see you next week. Thanks for listening.